Rocky. Now we're coming back from our recent episode of Grogu. Rocky, I really have a unique topic here and a question to ask you. With Star Wars, is there something missing? Is that magic gone from the original films? Like, is something missing here? Or what are we not getting right?
I don't know. Let's talk about it.
Everything R&D. Remember when it was just a trilogy? Now we've got the Mandalorian on TV, and everyone's talking about that little Grogu. A whole new galaxy for me and you. Let's break it down, the old and the new. With Damien and Rocky, we've got the view. This is everything R&D. Yeah, everything R&D.
So we're going to hit a very controversial subject here because there's going to be many interpretations of what people feel about this. You're talking multi-generational families and people that are Star Wars fans, and everyone's got their own take on it and how it is. And so this is going to be a very controversial discussion. So I hope everyone's going to stick around and listen to us jibber jabber.
Yeah, and you and I were always going to agree to disagree. So I think this is going to be a unique episode. I'm really going to be focused on the original trilogy and the magic behind that, and you're also going to discuss the stuff that surrounds it and what we're dealing with today.
Well, yes and no. So I'm also going to basically give you a perspective of somebody from my generation, the Gen X, or even the Zennials. But I'm going to give you that perspective because I think not everyone, but probably a good majority, most of the people my age that I know of, all have a very similar take.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give that perspective as well versus what's coming on now. So let's actually break it all down. Let's start at the beginning. George Lucas is the creator and the god, basically, from the beginning. It was at a time, 1977 was when the first movie was released, and that was The New Hope. And so that was basically the start of it all. I personally was a little kid. I think I was 4 at the time. I do remember going to see the movie. I do remember a lot of the hype about it. Bits and pieces, fragmented.
When you were 4, you went to see the original.
I want to say we did, yeah.
Wow.
Once again, my memories.
It's a long time, yeah.
It's a long time ago, but I do remember that when episodes 5 and 6 came out. That at least back then, and there's certain movies that do it now. Like probably the most recent would probably be like Wicked. Top Gun did it, right? So when a sequel comes out, the theaters will show the first one first. So you can actually go watch the first one, then watch the second one.
Right. They just did that recently with
I know they did it with Top Gun.
I think they did it with Mortal Kombat. They showed the first one again.
Did they do that with Mortal Kombat?
I believe so, yes.
And so that was kind of what it was like back then, early 80s. So I do remember seeing it in the theater. I mean, I could be misremembering.
No.
At the time that I saw episode 5 when that one came out.
No, I believe you saw it because my first movie I remember ever watching was when I was 5, and that was The Rocketeer. So I do remember seeing my very first movie in the movie theaters, and I was 5. So if you were 4, I believe you. I think you got a point there.
I mean, it's bits and pieces. I mean, I can't tell you everything about the movie. I mean, obviously, the more I watched the movie later on, definitely more came to light. But as far as like being at the theater with the experience, I want to say it was very much a different feeling back then. Maybe not so much as episode 4 when it first came out, but definitely 5. But there was a lot of movies that had that vibe, right? Like I can even tell you when Back to the Future 2 and 3 came out. I mean, there was a lot of fandom back then at the movie theaters. I mean, and the theaters put on a show, right? They had the garb. They even had the cars out front and stuff like that. Star Wars did a lot of similar stuff, where people dress up and go, and it was like a little Comic-Con kind of a thing.
If you watch some of the feature premieres, they had lines going out the Chinese theater. Yeah. They had C-3PO and R2-D2 put their footprints in the and the
Yeah.
walk and all that. So there was a hype behind the original Star Wars.
Yeah, so when you talk about what it was like back then, that's the way I remember it. Because when you talk about when they actually released the dates, so first one was 1977,
Yes.
and then 1980,
And then 1983.
80 and then 83. So
3 years apart each.
so from the perspective, so if we're going to talk about the trilogy, which we'll get back to, but I want to explain why a lot of people from my generation disconnected from anything later. So 1983, episode 6, Return of the Jedi came out, and it was phenomenal, right? The next movie that didn't come out was
Phantom Menace.
in what year?
99.
All right, so you're talking almost 17 years of no Star Wars movies, right? Nothing Star Wars. It was just those 3 movies.
So that's like from 2009 until now.
And then add another 10 years. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's
So-
17 years ago.
Yeah, so it's like that feeling, right?
Wow.
But there was no other Star Wars. There was no other
In between.
films in between. It was just those 3 movies.
And that's how I got introduced to Star Wars was I saw it playing on VHS in Kmart.
yeah.
When back then the big TVs was like 65 inch, but it had like a stereo built in. And there was these boxes, and my mother was shopping. I mentioned the story before when my mom would shop.
Right.
I would separate from her. I was just like, I didn't want to go in the clothing aisle. And all. It was boring. So I said, can I go to the electronics? And I saw Star Wars. I'm like, what is this movie? And it was when they were in the Death Star, and you see Vader and Obi-Wan lightsaber battling.
Yeah.
And I see a very young Harrison Ford. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Indiana Jones. I'm like, what is this? And the space, and I see the trenches. That was my first time I ever saw Star Wars. So my mother bought me the original trilogy on VHS.
Yeah.
So I patiently waited for another 4 years until I saw episode 1. So with me and my classmates and kids my age and millennials, we went to go see the prequels because we saw the older ones on the small screen at home. We never had the theater experience, and we loved the lore behind it. I'm going to play you a quick clip.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times. Before the Empire.
So it was like we always heard these stories, this world building, the Clone Wars and all this, but it was just like, ooh, now we get to see it. So that was the hype with my generation was we heard your stories and we saw what you guys got to see, but now we get our own thing.
Well, sort of, but at the same time too, because you guys were obviously a lot younger. So my generation, when we watched it, let's just say anywhere, let's just say by the time 1983 came out, I was 10 at the time. Let's just even say the oldest person, just to say 10 at the time, right?
When's your birthday?
73.
No. August, September?
June 73.
Wait, this month?
Yeah.
June what?
19.
June 19th?
Yeah, I get a holiday for my birthday.
Happy birthday. Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be gone. I'll be in Florida, but happy birthday to you.
We're probably going to be in Albuquerque at the time.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I actually have my birthday always falls on a holiday now, so I never have to work my birthday.
So if it is Star Wars-ish correctly, then yeah, because they always came out in May.
Yeah.
So if it came out in May, you were 9 going on 10.
In 83.
In 83 when
I would have just turned 10.
you were almost 10 if it came out in May. So
I was just turning 10.
you were just turning 10, so you were 9. So you were okay. So actually you and I was 9 when I first saw Star Wars for the first time in my life.
So for me, then the next movie that came out wasn't until 1999. Right? That was the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, so you were...
So 1999. So that puts me at, 26, 27 years old.
Yeah, your mid-20s.
Right? So here, now, this is from the perspective of my generation is when you're that young and the only thing you have are episodes 4, 5, and 6. and you hear it and you watch it and you listen to it and you dive deep into it. You see the actors, you see, a lot of, interviews and stuff like that. And then it was the fantasy. It became a fantasy of like what's next, because you always hear or stories about what George Lucas has, because the question was like, oh, there's 4, 5, 6, so there must be a 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 7, 8, 9. So you knew that George Lucas had a plan, and that was like the fantasy, and we grew up with that, waiting and waiting and waiting, and so when finally it did come out, for many of us, it was a disappointment after that. Does that make sense?
So let me rewind the clock 2 years before, when you're 24 years old, 1997, and it was the re-release of the special edition Star Wars. So that I went to go see. And I even went to Taco Bell and I bought the special Happy Meals and stuff like that. In 1997, did you watch the re-release special editions in theater? When they made the changes?
No, I actually did not go to the theaters to watch them at that point. Maybe I did. I don't remember.
Because it was the 20th anniversary.
No, I'm going to say no to that, because I ended up buying the DVDs. And then when I saw the DVDs, that's when I got disappointed that he tweaked them. He changed up what the original 3 looked like.
In 2004, he released the DVDs and changed them.
Was that not in 2004?
Oh, in 2004. But in 97, he re-released them in the theater with changes.
Yeah.
And that was, I remember it was yellow. So it had yellow over it.
Yeah, I'm going to say I did not go to the
Okay.
I did not go to the theaters to watch them.
Okay. You probably rented it on tape or something.
I know I had them on VHS at one point.
Okay. So you didn't go to the theater until 1999 and you were disappointed.
That was the movie release. The Phantom Menace was the only one that I saw in the theater. So as we progress to the rest of the show, just FYI, people, I did not watch anything after that one in the theater. I only watched it. I did not. Yeah, basically, I just watched everything on DVD or when it came out on like Disney or something like that.
Okay, I understand your background.
So that's my background with it, because there was a huge disconnect. And there's a lot of people my age that felt the same way, because when Phantom Menace was released, it was such a gut punch, because it did not go anywhere near anything that we had fantasized the 10, 17 years prior to that, right? When you hear rumors, when you read stories and you see special interviews with George Lucas and the potentials of like where this could go, and then all of a sudden Phantom Menace comes out and it like derails from what the first 4 are. Well, the first 3 are, 4, 5, and 6. And it didn't like lead up. And then, the disappointment. I mean, a lot of people did not like the casting.
Oh yeah, hold on. I have a clip here for you, how people felt.
I feel terrible.
I do remember. I was the opposite. I was excited to watch it. I actually enjoyed it because I was 12 going on 13, and I didn't like Jar Jar. I loved the pod racing. I enjoyed the pod racing. And for me personally, I really like the lightsaber duels in this, in episode 1.
It's more of the lore, right? So it was
the Jedi Council.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I like Liam Neeson as the Qui-Gon Jinn and Qui-Gon, sorry. And then Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I did like some of them. At first I did like Natalie Portman.
Gorgeous.
She's gorgeous, but I mean, I'm talking about her role as Queen Amidala.
Yeah. And Keira Knightley as Queen Amidala.
Yeah. And so at first, I mean, there were some aspects of it that I did enjoy. The things that were the disconnect and a lot of things that my generation griped about was that the midichlorians, man. Like, what in the hell are those?
Yeah, when they made
because
Anakin Jesus.
So the issue is like, okay, so
midichlorians.
So the issue is with my generation is like, okay, so if we're going to have episodes 4, 5, and 6, right? And we touched about this on the last episode. And I know I've talked about it in length, but I'm just trying to put this into perspective is like, okay, 4, 5, and 6 has its own set of characters, its own worlds, its own, right? And then when you hear stories about what George Lucas had envisioned, it's supposed to be about generations. 1, 2, and 3 are about Anakin. So we get to know who Anakin was and how he became Vader, how Obi-Wan's involved. And then that's what those 3 were supposed to be about, right? And then you watch the movie, Phantom Menace, and then they introduce the midichlorians. Like, okay, so that kind of is different from what 4, 5, and 6 are about, right? As far as like, how does the Force work?
Yeah, and I have a clip here of the explanation of the Force.
Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
The Force?
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
Which is what you just said.
Basically, but it was basically found through a blood test. You had to do a blood test to find out how many midichlorians you had. And so it's little things like that just kind of like set it off. And then, of course, you've got I don't even know what planet Jar Jar's on, but Jar Jar was a laughing stuff. Naboo.
Which is where Palpatine is from, the Emperor.
But it was just like a laughing stock, right? It just
Misa free. Misa come Jar Jar Binks.
Everyone was doing the voice, man.
Misa come from a different planet.
It just it's like a gut punch, right? So it's like you got 3 great movies, and then all of a sudden this crap comes out.
That actor got a little redemption in the Mandalorian. If you remember the Black Jedi that saved Grogu, that's the actor that does Jar Jar Binks. So he got to play a Jedi a Jedi Knight. That was his redemption, because this movie kind of harmed his career. Liam Neeson personally said, he's like, I really like him and I think he's going to be the next Eddie Murphy. But the movie just ruined his career. It ruined what's his name? Lloyd, the actor that played Anakin. Kids bullied him.
Oh yeah.
Jake
Lloyd.
Lloyd, he got a lot of mental issues from it. He got bullied and they just destroyed him. So fortunately for Natalie Portman, it didn't ruin her career.
I think it made hers better.
It made hers a little better. My only gripe, Rocky, and I really stand by this today. George Lucas wanted a specific actor, and the actor said no. If this actor said yes to play Anakin Skywalker in Episode 2 and Episode 3, I believe he would have saved the prequels. And
if you say Ricky Schroeder, I'm going to kick your ass.
No. George Lucas personally approached Leonardo DiCaprio, and he decided to do Catch Me If You Can. If Leonardo DiCaprio did Anakin Skywalker, I think he would have saved the prequels.
The older Anakin.
Episode 2 and Episode 3, correct.
So, yeah, because, that was the other issue.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, who is where now? Anyway.
He's back. He's in the Ahsoka show. He's doing Disney stuff, and
oh my gosh,
he did Kenobi, so he's back in a good way. The fans love him. He's always doing all these conventions.
The modern day, the younger fans, the younger generation.
My sister has a crush on him still to this day. She loves Hayden Christensen.
So the younger generations,
correct.
After so let's just
not
go.
You guys.
Let's just go with Gen Z and after, right? So
millennials.
So what I'm going to nickname and hopefully I call them Zalphas, Gen Zalphas. So it's basically anybody born after 2000.
What are they called?
I'm calling them Gen Zalphas, Gen Z and Alphas combined.
Okay.
Although we're in betas now. Betas are being born right now. Gen Zalpha betas. So they're Gen Z. Basically anybody born after 2000, right? So this generation is growing up with what this current modern Star Wars is. So
like Star Wars Rebels, all these shows that are out.
Right. And
the animated stuff.
Because it's most very close to their age. So this is all new to them. And so they're going to have a different feel for it. But the perspective of somebody older it has not gone well. It did not go well after Phantom Menace.
So I have a little bit of a theory, and it might piss off some people.
Let's hear it.
I believe the reason why Star Wars is going where it is now is because a lot of the original fans, the people that grew up with it, the people that loved it, they're starting to die. You know, they're just not around, and that leaves these younger fans, and they just they're not into it.
Okay, well, it's not because they're dying.
Well, I don't think they're around anymore.
They haven't been around since 2000. So in your perspective, yeah, we did die. We died off of the Star Wars world. So stop with your buttons, Grogu. Take your button card away. See, this is the younger generation. This is a millennial right here for you, folks. He loves his buttons
pretty much.
And so it was really around that time when Phantom Menace came out, and I'm sure some people tried to give it a chance and went and watched episodes 2 and 3, and it because it was such a gut punch for a lot of us. We just basically disowned Star Wars.
Episode 3 was the redemption.
So I've had this conversation for decades, right? And it was one of those things where, and a lot of this takes place when I did Comic-Cons, because, we used to go to Comic-Cons a lot.
Right, same here.
Before COVID.
I went to New York Comic-Con all the time. Where did you go, San Diego?
I've been to quite a few. I've never been to San Diego.
Okay.
We did hit a lot of here in Phoenix.
The Phoenix Con?
Well, I used to have a booth there. So
really?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more. I used to sell some. Me and my good friend Ken, we had a booth there. We sold. We made and we still kind of do make them. We make coasters.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a business, and then we even own a patent. But there's a lot of reasons why it's not going through right now. But anyways, so we used to. I will save that for a different subject.
Sure.
But but when we would be at Comic-Cons and we're talking, well, the Comic-Cons were later as far as I was working, but when I was younger and we would go to Comic-Cons like in the 90s, or even early 2000s, let's say early 2000s, a lot of people our age that we met basically disowned Star Wars.
Interesting.
And so because of the direction that it went, and the fact that George Lucas didn't have a controlling say in it, and his vision is not the vision that's being on film. The films look very quirky. A lot of the characters that they introduced were just they're just not believable. Like some of them were, like Darth Maul was good. Is he the best villain?
Gorgeous character creation.
With
the horns and the duel. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were some good aspects of it. We liked seeing the younger Obi-Wan, because obviously we knew that Obi-Wan was going to had to be in it because he's in episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Correct.
And so it's like, and really he was the only, I'm not going to say legacy older character in 4, 5, 6, but he was the primary one. And so everyone else, so when these came out, it was just very mixed. And then over time, we just gave up on it. It just did not seem that it was going to go anywhere positive. So we just gave up on Star Wars.
So 7 years ago, that attitude started to change a lot for people. 7 years ago.
27 years ago.
No. I'm just telling you, 7 years ago in 2019 with The Rise of Skywalker, people were starting to say by that time that the prequels were better than the sequels. They would rather watch episodes 1, 2, and 3 than 7, 8, and 9.
Well, 7, 8, and 9 were just horrible.
Well, that's what people were saying, that you should give the prequels a fair shake, because with George Lucas's involvement, you see the world building, you see the character development, versus 7, 8, and 9, which is all over the place.
7, 8, and 9 were just, well, 7 was good.
7 was decent, but
8 and 9 could not follow anything.
7 was more a fandom service, I would say. It was good, but it was too much of going back to the original formula instead of doing something new.
So I want to say the biggest.
Did
So-
you watch the sequels in
so-
theater?
No, I did not. I watched 4, 5, and 6 in the theaters, and then episode 1. Nothing else in the theater.
You didn't watch episode 7,
I saw episode 7, but not
but
in
not
the
in the
theater.
theater. You didn't give it a fair chance.
I gave it one viewing.
Now, what about when episode 8 that Luke was going to be in it? You're like, hell no, I'm not going to watch that.
I gave it one viewing. I basically watched it when it came out on TV.
Oh,
I did not go watch it in the theater.
Yeah,
if that's what
I
you're
watched.
asking.
Yeah, I watched all Star Wars movies. I've watched in the
Because
movie
they didn't have the feel. So, it was what they were doing with the legacy characters. And I know we have different perspectives on this because 7, 8, 9 should have been their own, but you had to have at some point because remember it's supposed to be generational. 7, 8, 9 were supposed to include the legacy characters from 4, 5, 6. So Han and Leia and Luke, they're the parent generation, and then of course
the kids.
the kids after that, right? So that was kind of what it was supposed to be. However, how in 7, 8, and 9 the legacy characters were depicted. I mean, look at Han Solo. I mean,
I know
he was a great rebel general, and then he went back to being a smuggler.
again.
and he abandoned his family. I mean, like
He abandoned his wife and son.
and then he was killed by his son. Now, Kylo Ren, I give him that was the best character ever in 7, 8, 9.
What about
by far.
Snoke?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo
Kylo
Ren,
Ren is
okay.
like Adam Driver nailed that.
Great casting.
I think there was a lot of opportunity to make him great
They dropped the ball.
of the whole series.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. They had so many opportunities to make that trilogy far better than what it was.
Kylo Ren should have never had a redemption arc where he turns good. He should have never happened in 2019 where he's just, now he's good now. Like, how about the Knights of Ren? Are they going to do anything? No. What about Kylo? Is he going to be able to shoot lightning out of his hands? No. It's just like, man, what are you guys doing with Kylo? Like, he was just starting to go into the dark side where he killed his father.
And then, so when you watch 4, 5, and 6, and even let's just take Luke Skywalker, right? So he is the ultimate symbol of optimism or relentless optimism, and he was one the main character. This is what made Mark Hamill great, was those 3 movies.
Yeah.
And then when you get to 7, 8, 9, he becomes this hermit and he cuts himself off from the world. And
Hey, they're trying to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi thing, and it was just like, what are you guys doing? Like, Luke wouldn't have done Obi-Wan.
No, where are you going with this?
Yeah,
And
why is he angry? Why is he in seclusion?
so they basically took the legacy characters and they butchered their characers,
Yeah.
and they basically
Episode 8 pissed me off. I remember.
and they
being
and they
upset.
made him so inconsequential. It's like, where's the heroism? Where's the hope? Where's the nothing made sense.
That's why people were happy with The Mandalorian when you see Luke in season 2, when he comes to rescue Grogu, is like, this is what we wanted Luke to be after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but going back to 1, 2, and 3,
I like them.
right? But it's the introduction of the midichlorians. That by far, I mean, that's going to be. I'm telling you, from my generation's perspective, that is a trigger point because it has midichlorians. This is the first movie of 9 that's supposed to basically set up the whole opera,
Yeah.
right? And you're introducing something that is not even in 4, 5, and 6.
No.
It's an entirely different concept. So this goes back to, hey, we just watched the first 4 movies back in 1983, where we've waited until 1999, so 17 years. Remember, we're watching interviews. George Lucas is saying, hey, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and this is kind of where it's going to go. You read different theories and this and that. And
They had books too. They had sequel books.
yeah, and so it's like, and then you find out that it's like not anything that it just was a gut punch. It really was. You're introducing characters, you're introducing things that just it doesn't make sense. It
Well,
doesn't follow.
Did you hear the new controversial theory? I'm not sure if Mark Hamill said it. I got to go back and do my research. That the main reason why Luke is alone and all that stuff, and because he's gay. It is Pride Month. It's June, but I don't know why someone would say that.
Because there's a lot of dislike for Mark Hamill right now.
Oh, with his politics?
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense to me that it's part of that cancel culture bullshit, but but yeah, I mean, I could see why it's like the same reason, people are not fans of Mark Ruffalo either. But as far as like going back to the original thing,
Hold on, I have the. We're gonna go right back. Mark Hamill did say it in a recent interview with Polygon, April 14th, 2026. Mark Hamill said it was never the intention of Star Wars creator George Lucas to explore Luke's sexuality in the films, but if you want him to be gay, he is. If you don't want him to be gay, he's not. It's whatever you want. Mark Hamill, who the hell are you to say that about Luke Skywalker?
Oh my God.
This guy's just full of controversy, I tell you.
So yeah, it just it was that. I mean, it was just a lot of things, the death of the cinematic event, I mean, when Phantom Menace came out, it just didn't feel the same. It just didn't hit you like, well, I mean, maybe the first one a little bit more so, but when the second one came out, it was just like
I bought the video game on PlayStation 1.
I'm talking about the cinematic event, the ads on TV, the going to the theater, people being dressed up.
Did you go to the midnight premiere?
No.
Of Star Wars Episode 1?
No.
Yeah, there's videos of the midnight premiere that people were excited.
I'm sure it happened in some places.
Oh no, it happened in a lot of places. In New Jersey specifically.
Well, episode 1, that's what I said.
Episode 1.
Giving it
99.
Did it happen episode 2? Did it happen episode 3? Did it happen?
Yes. So episode 3, me and my friends from high school, my friends and I, sorry for my English. My friends and I in high school, we went to the midnight showing of Star Wars Episode 3.
So once again, the younger generation took over the reins, and this is but from an older person's perspective, they probably didn't participate. So maybe some did.
No, it was fun, and I remember us like all like screaming and yelling when it went, a galaxy far, far away, and then it went quiet, and then when it went ding, and we were all screaming and chanting and yelling at the screen. I was a senior in high school when it came out, and also what happened was I bought the video game first on PlayStation 2, and it came out like a week or two before the movie. So I was really spoiling the film for myself, although things in the game happened that didn't happen in the movie, but I was getting right who died. And I told my friend how Mace Windu dies. He was pissed.
Yeah, it was I mean there's a lot of factors why somebody and I'm just going to go with a base number of 45. So anybody that's 45 years of age or older, basically Gen X, and probably 45 would probably be
early millennial.
right at the turn of early millennial. Yeah. So yeah, because I was 89. So yeah, right around there, somebody 1990, 91 being born. There was just a lot of factors. So one was what they ended up doing with the legacy characters, right? And how it went. And that's 7, 8, 9. No, episodes 1, 2, 3 was the introduction of just some really weird, insane stuff, right? That didn't make a lot of sense. The way it was filmed, right? So once again, my generation, we like the grainy kind of look, kind of. I hate to say that, but that's kind of defines the movies a little bit. How they filmed them, right? They used a lot more of the puppets. They did a lot more miniatures, matte plating, stuff like that. Animatronics. Whereas modern day movies, well, actually, once CGI started coming in hardcore, the whole sets, many of the sets, like Naboo. I mean, a lot of those places, it was all CGI created. Everything's filmed in a green screen.
Yeah, some parts of episode 2 was filmed in Italy, like Lake Como. But you are right. The prequels are heavily CGI,
and so I think that's what hurts a lot of movies nowadays. I mean, unless you're like in a fictitious world, like let's say, like you're watching the movie Thor. I think He-Man's gonna follow this too, because it's like, Black Panther. You need to create a digital world.
Yeah.
However, but a lot of that can still be done with real locations. And
now it's being done differently than it was with the prequels. So with the Mandalorian, for example, what they're doing is they have what's a digital LED dome. So they'll have the set, like say it's in a desert. They'll put sand and rocks on the floor, and then they bring the digital world over them with the LCD screen. So it's
like the sphere. Okay.
It's a sphere, but it gives that natural light projection where it feels like they're there in the world. So it's using practical, but it's not heavily CGI, if that makes sense.
So they're
not on the blue screen anymore.
So they're using a studio to recreate a live location.
Correct. So
it's still not live location.
It's not live location. It's not like episode 5 with Hoth. They went to Canada and filmed in the snow.
Right.
But then again, Dagobah with Yoda, that was on a set.
Well, that one, yeah, because they had to do the puppets and stuff. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was and Frank Oz, God bless him, I love him. But
Yoda,
but you know what I mean as far as like that style of movie, you could tell when it just the feeling of being on a live location. Now, granted, yes, a lot of it had to be CGI, and a lot of it was probably studio. Like when you're inside the Death Star, I mean, that's your location as you're inside the Death Star.
That was a beautiful set design.
So, but when you're on like Endor, they were in the redwoods for that.
Yeah. What was that? California?
Yeah, it's in California. And so they did the speeder scenes and the Ewoks and all that stuff there. That was in the redwoods. They filmed all that there.
Beautiful scene.
And so
I think of Return of the Jedi, that comes to mind is the forest of Endor.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a certain feel to it, right? And then the later movies had less and less and less and less of that. So it just felt artificial.
Yeah, the later films had more action. So it was a lot more lightsaber duels, a lot more starfighter sequences.
A little bit, yeah. I would say yes.
And it's interesting that we're going to talk about Frank Oz and Yoda. I'm going to do a little clip here.
Hear you nothing that I say. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
There was a lot of magic in the original films where Yoda is teaching Luke these things. And you know what? When you're a kid or you're a teenager, you're going to see this film and maybe you don't have a good father figure in your life. That's good advice.
Yeah.
It's just like now Luke is alone. He doesn't have Obi-Wan. Now he's getting training and to become a man, and Yoda's teaching him these things because Luke doesn't know. And I think George Lucas did a good part in that, where it's just like, yeah, you could be on a planet far, far away. And
he didn't get that when he was with Uncle Owen. So
Uncle Owen, yeah, he was
he basically put him to work, So
he doesn't want him being force sensitive. That's what it was,
right? So so he didn't have that fatherly figure.
No, he never did.
But the point being is this 4, 5, and 6 had some like raw feel to it. You know what I mean?
Especially 5 with the puppet.
And then here's another thing too. So, from the time that 83 ended, we waited the years, with our brains just going crazy, wanting something new. Now, like I don't know if you can do it. I don't even know how many there are. Let's go from 99 until now. How many Star Wars episodes? So let's just say that's 27 years.
How much Star Wars content has come out?
How much Star Wars content came out? It looks like a farm.
Yeah, it's a lot because you have the TV shows.
You have the animation series.
You have the video games with Star Killer where Darth Vader had an apprentice.
So it's like every year something is coming out.
Yeah.
Something coming out, something new, something. And so it's
too much.
It becomes too much, right? And,
there was a mystery when you hold off.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what made it like this holy event. Like even the 4, 5, 6, they were like 3 years apart.
Yeah.
So it's not like they came out like 79, 78, 79, 80.
No, it was a gap.
And a lot of trilogies did that back then. Look at Back to the Future. They didn't come out. They were like 2-3 years apart.
Yeah, 85 to 89.
You know, the Indiana Jones series, same thing. They weren't like back to back years. They were like 2, 3, 4 years apart.
Oh, it was because of Indiana Jones that George. Oh, what was it that Harrison Ford asked George to kill off Han Solo after he got the car? But he's like, "Why did you just kill him off?"
So I did hear that, and I think that's why they ended up doing that in episode 8,
Episode 5. Yeah. Oh yeah, because he didn't want to come back. So episode 7, he was like, "I'll come back if you kill me." He's like, "All right, we'll kill you."
Yeah. So
He was done with it.
yeah, it
Harrison
was
Ford got done with Star Wars. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm done with it."
pretty much. So you know what I mean? So now it just seems like it's oversaturated. The whole universe, Star Wars universe, is just oversaturated.
It's nothing surprising anymore. It's nothing intriguing. I'm going to go back in time with you to 1980 because in the previous episode, the Mandela effect, you mentioned to me that you saw Empire Strikes Back in the theater.
Are we going to talk about the favorite quote?
No. I just want to ask you, as a kid, what was your reaction to seeing Yoda? Did you buy the toy? Did you like the puppet? Did it surprise you seeing that? Because Jim Henson was doing Sesame Street and all these awesome things with these puppets. What was your reaction with Yoda as a kid, as a little boy?
So first off, since we're on this subject, because this just gave me an idea that we're going to have to do some homework on, and eventually, and I don't know when we're going to do it yet, but in the future, folks, you guys can expect a Frank Oz tribute show.
Yeah.
Because Frank Oz is legendary in the world of puppets. But
Blues Brothers.
Anyways, to answer the question that's been presented, as far as toys go, when I was a kid, I didn't buy plush toys. I bought the action figures. So I had the Star Wars action figures.
Vader.
I had quite a few of them.
Boba Fett.
It was such a crazy time growing up because I had not only Star Wars action figures, I had G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I had the Transformers.
Yeah.
I mean, I had cases and cases, shelves and shelves. I mean, I had.
That was fun times.
It was, talk about, that's your lunch money right there, gone every week.
Did you have a Star Wars lunch box?
No, because you get beat up if you had a lunchbox in my neighborhood.
Damn. You had to bring a brown paper bag.
It was a brown paper bag, buddy.
Oh, okay. I had a lunchbox. I had a Star Wars lunchbox.
Okay, I had a lunchbox probably.
It was
like
plastic.
up until like 3rd grade,
Yeah, same here. It was like
and then after that, you get your squish sandwich in a bag.
no. Yeah, it was that, and it was something else. So okay, so you didn't have the toy. So the second follow up to that is E.T. Halloween. Did you ever get dressed up as Yoda for Halloween?
No, I did not get dressed up as Yoda for Halloween.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive. I did not get dressed up. No, I did not get dressed up. Oh my God. So here we are talking about being poor.
Well, E.T. came out in 83 and you see a kid wearing the Yoda costume and E.T.'s like, home.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the scene when they're walking out. And
Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, in ET, because that's the when we talk about that universe. Anyway, we'll talk about that universe later. But
It's connected to Star Wars, and I'll get back to that.
Okay. So to answer the question, no, I did not have a Yoda outfit for Halloween. Where I was going to go with it was
Garfield?
Like, no, I was poor. So
You had a sheet?
we were poor. No, so it was the craziest thing. So my aunt was a seamstress.
Oh, Rocky, no, don't.
So
My grandma did that for my Uncle Victor. She sewed him a costume.
we made so secondly, I went to Catholic school, right?
Interesting.
I went to Catholic school,
Okay.
parochial school. And so at my parochial school for Halloween, they had contests. The rules of the contest is you have to make your own. You can't have a store-bought. So you can't just go in and buy the mask and a cape, right? You have to build your own.
Build your own.
That's kind of what it was, right? So, oh my God, one year, I was the weirdest looking robot. Painted my face and arms, and I was silver.
Silver. You look like the Tin Man.
You take all kinds of like old cardboard boxes, tape them all up together, and here I am locking them.
Looking like a droid.
There was quite a few of them. No, I think the coolest one my aunt made was when she made a skeleton outfit.
Ooh, like Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was probably my
nice.
favorite one she made. I wish I had pictures of it.
Yeah, if you find it, you gotta send it to me. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it was just it was like a white hoodie mask. It was like basically like a t-shirt. Like
Yeah.
it was an arm sleeve, I think my uncle's shirt or something like that.
I hope it was washed.
It was, and she just cut like little holes so it covered. No, I'm kidding there. It was actually just like a hoodie she made with the eyes.
The whole cutout eyes?
Yeah, so that way and then it was painted black around for the black eyes and stuff.
Yeah, like Batman. You paint the eyes black.
And then the black outfit with the white bones on it. It was kind of cool.
Okay.
And then they retrofitted. Basically, it was like it was booties, basically white booties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, put them on my feet. My aunt made those too. So that was like my coolest one that she made. And God rest her soul, I miss her.
Oh, may she rest in peace.
Yeah. Unfortunately, cancer sucks.
I took my grandmother's, both of them.
Yeah, she beat it the first time, and we were proud of her. And then it came back. So she beat breast cancer, and that was phenomenal. Actually, twice.
Wow.
She beat it twice, and she ended up having both her breasts removed. And then years later, it came back as colon. So, and that one took her.
Yeah, that killed my my grandma Lucy, colon cancer.
Yeah, and that was just
terrible.
So unfortunate watching her go through that, but yeah,
It's a terrible thing.
and I miss her a lot.
That's with Star Wars Episode 3. When the movie came out, that's when my grandmother was battling colon cancer and dying. She passed away in July. I saw the movie in May, so that was a really hard time for us to go to the movies. But I still went.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
I
so
understand.
to answer your question, no, I did not have a Yoda outfit.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the positivity. No, and my grandma Carmen, my dad's mom, she made my uncle Victor a Batman costume. I have that Polaroid. I'll show it to you. It's the most hilarious. I have you see me as a boy. I have the Batman Brave and the Bold costume, and then there's my uncle Victor wearing like a sewn Batman Returns costume. Is the most hilarious thing because she didn't want to buy him the costume.
That's
And it was 1992, so he was like 13 or 14. He's a teenager.
What toys did you have growing up? I mean, of Star Wars, like because I just had the action figures.
It was mostly Legos.
Okay,
It was Legos. I didn't have the action figures, but my mom bought me the Legos.
I will admit, Mom bought me Legos when I was. I did have Legos back when they were affordable. I just
What is that right now? That is ridiculous.
Well, part of it is okay. If we want to get into
these
Lego
fans
world,
are just buying these Legos and making them into crazy things, but it's like you would buy the movie Legos.
So, if we're going to talk about Legos, let's go off two things. One, they made Legos differently back then, right? So they just made parts. They didn't. I mean, they had some kits back when Legos first coming out for me
In the 80s.
So they didn't have kits the way they do today.
The kits came out in the 90s when I was a kid.
Right. So basically they were just like Lincoln Logs, right? So they just came in a box.
Wow, you just dated yourself,
and
bro.
you just had like the little 2-prong, 3-prong, 4-prong, and they came in different colors, and trying to find like curve shapes or anything like that was difficult. So that was a lot of it. And then they did some sets, but some sets were more like, now the set has tires or it has, you can build a car out of it, like little kits like that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's not
big.
like it is now where you buy a Lego set for $1,200 and it's got 1,100 pieces and every piece is for one spot only.
It's just ridiculous that to buy Legos, you have to have it unlocked in a case like it's a video game, like it's so valuable. Like you can't just go to the shelf.
They are?
You can't just go to the shelf and grab them anymore.
Some of them you can, depending on where you're shopping. they'll have like the little $40 or $50 kits.
The small
the
ones.
little small ones. But if you want something grand,
Nice.
like
Harry Potter or something.
you know what's even bigger than that? Hello Kitty.
Oh, yeah.
Hello Kitty's popular. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. If you want a larger set, a larger, like the roller coaster, or to try even getting like good luck trying to find the the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon.
Good
Legos.
luck trying to find that.
Everybody's buying that.
But they're just astronomically expensive. Now you can still go into the Lego store and you can buy the blocks.
Yeah.
Individually, you can buy the boards.
You could build it yourself.
And you can build your own pieces, right? But they're not going to have all the little components in it.
Yeah.
They're not going to have the windshield or something specific, a rounded curve. They're not going to have the little coffee pot or whatever that's supposed to be in the set.
Yeah, no, it's true, because if you watch the Lego movie, it has the Star Wars characters. You see Lando, you see Han.
Oh, yeah.
You see the Millennium Falcon. Those are the real pieces or the set in the movie.
I love the Lego movies.
The Lego movie is great. I love the Lego movie. And but to answer your question,
oh my God, too bad you don't have the soundbite for that.
Which one? I'll find it. You could talk. I'll find it.
Everything is awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we're gonna get copyrighted. I can't.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. I was gonna play like Han talking to them, but
no, it's the song. That's
it. It's I don't want to get copyright claimed.
It's Baby Shark before Baby Shark was Baby Shark.
Yeah. Actually, what's his name? Billy D. Williams, who I met at a Comic-Con.
Oh, nice.
I met Billy D. Williams at a Comic-Con. He did the voice of Lando in the Lego movie.
You know what? Add this to the list, folks. We're going to talk Comic-Cons on another podcast.
Yes. I've gone to
We've
many
got
New York
stories. I'll
Comic-Cons.
tell you all the people I've met.
Yeah, New York Comic-Con, Anime Next. Here, I've gone to the HorrorCon where they had, the Mad Monster Party. I've been to that. And I've been to the video game convention down in Phoenix.
And I'll tell you, well, here's a spoiler. We'll leave this as a spoiler.
Yeah.
So who's that? Who did you say you met?
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Okay, that's his teaser.
Mark Hamill as well.
Those are his teasers for the next one. The coolest character I ever met, in my eyes, other than William Shatner, Tim Curry.
Oh, you met Tim Curry.
I'll tell you that in the next podcast.
He should have been the Joker, but Mark Hamill got it. Did you know that for Batman the Animated Series?
We'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll talk about that
in our Comic-Con episode. There's our teaser for the next one, folks.
I like that you said Lincoln Logs. I said, bro, you just dated yourself. I was like, holy shit, Lincoln Logs. But to answer your question, I didn't have Star Wars toys or action figures. I had the Lego sets. And back then in the 90s, they were available. You could get them. And also to answer your question, I had Star Wars Episode 1 Monopoly. And say what you want to say about the movie, but that Monopoly set is gorgeous. It is beautiful. I still have it. Absolutely gorgeous. That is my favorite Monopoly set of all time.
Did Uncle Warbucks have a monocle?
Oh God, dude, that episode episode is blowing up right now.
But thank you guys for watching that. Our Mandelas. You know what?
Yeah.
We left out a lot of Mandelas on that, so we're gonna have to do a follow-up on that.
We'll probably do an episode 2. But going back to Star Wars, there was something interesting about the originals with the world building. Like, for instance, when we see Obi-Wan's powers. I got a clip right here.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
Well, first off, wouldn't his teammates or his fellow soldiers say, like, dude, what are you doing? You're just repeating back what he's saying. Snap out of it. Like, they're just
something like that.
They're just standing there like, okay.
That was on what, Tatooine?
No. That was Tatooine
at Tatooine,
at the Mos Eisley port where they he sold his speeder.
Yeah, so here's another thing. Since you just played that clip, is I think there's another thing. 4, 5, and 6 have more quotable lines. I mean, like Mandalorian. What's the most quotable line in Mandalorian?
This is
This
the
is
way.
like- Can you name another?
I can either bring you in cold or hot, or no, warm or cold.
Any others?
I promise you will not die by my hand. I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion. I know these people. They are brutal. What's your highest bounty? Are you Jedi? Does this look Jedi to you? A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming. I want my next job. It goes against the Mandalorian creed. This is the way. A Mandalorian armorer has set me on my path. Tell me where the Mandalorians are, and I'll walk out of here without killing you. If you want my armor, you'll have to peel it off my dead body.
Does that answer your question?
That was a softball throw like I have never seen before. You know, no wonder. All right, you guys, seriously, he was itching. He's like itching, like fishing. And I knew something was up. And he says, I got all the buttons off camera. We said this before the start of the show.
I got a lot of
He's like, I got a lot of buttons. And I'm like, okay, what has he got? He's like, I got a lot more for the next one. I got a lot more for the next one. And it's like, there was a softball right there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you nailed that one out of the park because that was perfect timing. So other than the Mandalorian,
Okay.
no, all I'm saying is that there was a lot of quotable lines from 4, 5, and 6.
In the prequels, there's a few when people also quote Hayden Christensen when he says sand, it gets everywhere. It's hot course, he explains why he hates sand and Tatooine. And my favorite one is when Obi-Wan tells him, I loved you, Anakin. You were like a brother to me. And he goes, I hate you. Like, I love that. That is such a quotable line. People say, I hate you. And hello there. But that goes to the original one. But Ewan McGregor's kind of making it his own. He's like, hello there.
It's the accent. We're just going to go with the accent on that
hello
one.
there. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of another quote. Oh, God, how can I forget? Darth Sidious. Now you shall experience the full power of the dark side of the Force. And they just like blast Yoda. You know what, Rocky? No, I can't hate on the prequels because episode 2, you see Yoda fighting because we always heard about him. He's jumping off the ship. He's fighting Count Dooku. Count Dooku's like, oh, shit. He's like trying to like fight him because he goes, our skills are going to be matched.
That was a
with
fight
the
in the
Force.
canyon.
Yeah, inside the Space Canyon ship hangar, and he fights Yoda. That was a good scene. Then you see Anakin dual wielding 2 lightsabers and fighting Count Dooku. Episode 3 with Darth Sidious, the Emperor, fighting Vader. He's like, if so powerful you are, why leave? And he activates his lightsaber. And you see Yoda like throw the Imperial guards against the wall. I like the prequels, Rocky, more than the sequels. Now the more I speak about it and the lines and the effects and the brand new things that we never saw Yoda fight. We never saw him use a lightsaber. We never saw the Emperor wield a lightsaber and fight anybody. He fought Sam Jackson, Mace Windu. He fought Yoda. The prequels are good. Now you're making me reflect on the magic that I saw in the theater. It was good. There was some good lines in there. Take a seat, young Padawan, or young Skywalker. That was Mace Windu, and Mace Windu wasn't dropping the MFers, and he was stoic and
Well, he wasn't
wise.
Say what again, mother?
Some people edited that. Yeah, I seen edits of that. But no,
that's good, and that's what I wanted out of this was to get your millennial perspective on this.
That is my perspective
because you grew up at a different time,
right?
Than so basically, my point is, what you're born in 86,
1986.
86, born 86. So about you were 13 when the first movie dropped.
12 going on.
So
13.
you were still in your childhood.
Yes,
in that prime age.
I got dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi that year,
and that's where I'm getting at with this is like when you're in your youth, you experienced it a lot different. Mm-hmm. So for you, episodes 1, 2, and 3 were for me what 4, 5, and 6 were.
And we had 4, 5, and 6 in 97. So I still got to experience the magic that you did,
right,
in the theater. And then 2 years later, I see the next
bonus,
one.
Yeah.
Then I 3 years. But like you said, it was 3 years. So going from 1999 to 2002 was a really big leap. Like I was a different person by that time. Yeah. And I remember hesitating to go see episode 2. and I went, and then it was always because of friends or someone wanting to go.
Right.
I didn't want to go. It was always people around me going for episode 2, and then all my high school friends, they were going at the midnight premiere. I'm like, well, I get to hang outside my house at midnight. It's high school. Why not? Let's have a blast. And we all hung out before, like 11, 10, whatever it was. We went to Applebee's, and then we went to go see the midnight premiere. So it was like a hangout type of thing. I didn't want to go see it, if it makes any sense, but it was magic for me when I saw it.
So yeah, but that's where I'm getting at. Is those to you were more towards your youth, whereas for me, when 1, 2, and 3 came out, I was coming on 30. So I mean,
right. That was episode
my
7.
late 20s, early 30s. So
I was 29 when episode 7 came out, so I understand where you were.
Yeah. So, but then again, too, we also had to wait 17 years.
Yeah. Actually, no, I was 28.
So actually, we basically got tired of waiting. Honestly,
Yeah, it's too long.
I mean, I'll give you my perspective, because this goes to another thing that we had talked about today. Because one of the things that triggers anybody, it's like a loyalty thing, right? It has to be loyalty thing, and I'm sure you've heard it before when we talk about these two. Is, are you a Star Trek or Star Wars?
I'm kind of both.
That's say I am both too.
Yeah, I'm kind
So
of both.
well, I'm Star Wars early edition.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that was such a popular thing back in the 2000s was because no one knew when episodes 1, 2, and 3. I mean, we waited 17 years, so it's like, they're coming, but no one knows when it's coming. So eventually, after enough time passes, you kind of give up, thinking they're never going to come, right? So this is all we get. 4, 5, and 6. That's all we get. That's it. So think of it from this perspective, right? So this is all we're going to get. So what else happened at that time?
Star Trek
Took off, right?
Yeah, in the 80s.
Next Generation. So Next Generation took off, big, huge success, right? And then Deep Space Nine came out, and that's one of my favorites. That came out early 90s, mid 90s, and then Voyager.
Yeah.
So it's, and then at the same time too, you still had the original Star Wars still hot, right? So, but the thing that's different between Star Wars and Star Trek is the fact that when Star Trek was doing theirs, each one of the shows were their own identity, but they followed the same principles of the Federation. So whatever you're doing in Next Generation, that's set up. These are the Federation rules. This is the theories. When Deep Space Nine came out, when Voyager came out, Enterprise came out, even the Kelvin timeline came out, and we're not even going to talk about Discovery and the crappy ones that are now. But
I forgot about Discovery.
we all did. It was a show that never should have been made.
Yeah.
Basically, Discovery is the death of your death. So, but what I'm saying is, do you see where I'm getting at with it? Was that Star Trek was big and powerful then, and then so you're following the Star Trek worlds, and then all of a sudden, so now that's what we have. That was our sci-fi opera, basically.
So you brought up a very unique point. I'm not sure if you see it.
I know exactly what I said.
No. I'm not sure if you see the deeper context of your point. 1983, Return of the Jedi ends. 1982, I believe, was Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All these other Star Trek films started to come out after that. So 1983, boom, Star Wars stops, no more, finito. And then Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, Star Trek 5, Star Trek 6.
And the thing with those movies is they are individual themselves, so they're good on their own.
Yeah.
But they also set up the next one.
Yeah.
So, and then they set up the next one. Or at least that's the way they were designed. Except for, those maybe like 1 or 2 that really weren't. But that was the 6th in the series.
Yeah.
And then Next Generation had their show, and then they had their movies.
Which was the one that had Captain Kirk come back in 95?
Generations,
where he dies.
Right. That was kind of like, it was an alternate. I'm not going to say alternate timeline. But yeah, it would kind of depends on how you look at it, right? So technically he does die in that.
Because he got sucked into a time vortex?
Into the ribbon.
He
He got into the ribbon.
Bridge to Captain Kirk. Come in.
Yeah. And
he didn't answer.
so so you have First Contact. When First Contact came out, my God.
Was that the one with the clone or something? Or was that Nemesis?
That was Nemesis.
Nemesis. Okay. First Contact was the other one.
First Contact was where they were. They had to go back in time. They did the time warp thing because they had to go back to when the Vulcans came to Earth.
Oh, okay.
And that was because the guy that in the Star Trek world discovered warp travel.
Okay. That I enjoyed that more than the whales one, which is episode 4.
Yeah.
Star Trek 4, where they had to go back in time to save the whales.
So First Contact came out in 1996.
Nice.
And that wasn't the first one.
That was the second one.
Yeah.
Because 95 was Generations.
Right. But when you look at a movie like that, so it's...
Well, if you look at all those movies when they came out, there was no Star Wars.
There wasn't, only the original 3.
So those Star Trek films filled that void for someone like you waiting.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there's a lot of Trekkies versus Star Wars.
Older Trekkies,
because now Star Wars is filling that gap with our TV shows, with our comics and stuff like that.
Well, because really there's no new Star Trek. Right?
There's nothing really,
Nothing.
It's kind of died out.
Nothing valuable.
No new movies, no new shows.
So
now it's flipped. Now it's reversed.
Yeah, now it's reversed. Yeah, Star Trek is dying after...
gone.
Well, I think Nigel Barrett passed away and Gene Roddenberry died. So
and what's the name of
Nimoy? Okay. Leonard Nimoy.
He passed
away.
Yeah.
But he did do a recent cameo in the last. He was in the Kelvin timeline.
He was in the Kelvin timeline. And they announced his death.
But the only thing that they did recent that was a huge success was Picard.
Yeah.
So
Picard show.
So when Patrick Stewart did Picard, that's a really good show. And then it really hasn't been much after that.
It's kind of died off.
It's but you know what, the 90s, oh my God, the 90s were filled with sci-fi. You had Babylon 5,
Matrix.
Well, I meant like space.
Oh, space sci-fi?
Space sci-fi. So yeah, Babylon 5, you still had Battlestar Galactica that came out on a reboot.
Stargate.
Edward James Olmos was the lead on the Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, yeah.
So you know what I mean. So you had a lot of these other shows that took away from Star Wars.
I forgot about Battlestar Galactica.
And so so here you got all these shows, and then you've got the other shows that are like Quantum Leap, Sliders was big back then. So there was a lot of sci-fi that occupied our time. So when the announcement for Episode 1, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was announced, it was like, yes, let's do this. Let's rock it with Star Wars again. And then it was a gut punch.
What was it for you that disappointed you the most when you walked out of the theater from Episode 1? Jar Jar?
I was more confused more than anything. I want to say I felt more confused because things just didn't make sense. Because once again, you're introducing the midichlorians. You got Jar Jar. And then, there's things that showed positive signs. No.
Did you like the duels, like the lightsaber duels? Like
I did like the fight scenes. I thought the fight scenes were good.
Pod racing.
I wasn't a big Jake Lloyd fan. I thought
the kid was annoying.
It was like overacting for a child actor.
Yeah. Whoa.
I mean, there were parts of it. Like I like the introduction of Natalie Portman to Queen Amidala. I mean, it introduced Anakin's mother. Shmi was that Shmi, and so there were, and then it did incorporate Anthony Daniels, and you got Frank Oz and Kenny Baker still in it. So
we see R2D2 and 3PO.
Yeah, they were there.
Did you what was I gonna say?
But like I said, there were like Darth Maul. I think that was a good character to have at the time, and he was very popular. I mean, I remember him being more popular than probably the legacy character.
That's why they put him in the Rebels TV shows and stuff like that, because he's a popular character. Again, he got sliced in half, but they had to bring him back.
And then it was like, it just seemed like it wasn't like a family thing because it seemed too political, right? Because you have the consoles,
heavily politics.
you know, you had the console, and I'm
Okay.
like, what is this? And everyone's got to vote, everyone's got to say. It's like,
Yes, that's the Republic. Do you remember seeing anything particular in the?
if you're gonna go with ET being in there,
Yes,
he was in there.
His race of people were in that in the council.
Talk about
The Senate. I'm sorry,
He was in the Senate.
The Galactic Senate. You see his race of people. Yeah, so it was very heavily involved in politics. We see why it fell and how the Empire rose. I don't discourage episode 1. I just feel that maybe if they started the prequels at episode 2 when he's in the academy and he's learning, I think maybe they should have done something like that.
I think
make him a little older.
I think it went. Well, I didn't mind a young Anakin growing up in the hood, basically.
Mos Eisley, Tatooine.
You know, I didn't mind that part. I think, I don't know, it just, and then the introduction of all the other little characters, like all the animated characters that were in it at the same time too. It just seemed like overkill.
It was,
and it just did not, like when you watch 4, 5, and 6, there's not a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of space between characters. Now, granted, if you're in like the space, if you're in the spaceship,
yeah,
right, that's a different story. Or like if you're in the in one of the bases, that might be a different story. It's, I don't know. It just, for some reason, like in the public setting scene when he's going to do the race, and even like the commentators, the 2-headed people.
Oh yeah, the 2-headed alien.
So annoying.
Yeah, the one guy was from whose line is it anyway? The dude with the glasses. I forgot his name. He did one of the voices.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I forgot that.
The dude with glasses, Drew Carey?
No, it's one of the guys that does the improv. So you have Wayne Brady, you have the tall guy with the blonde hair, you have the short guy that's balding.
Colin,
yeah, and then you have the other guy that would come in sometimes. He had glasses.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
That comedian actor, he did the voice of one of the 2-headed aliens. It's Skywalker. That was him.
Oh my gosh, I did not put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, that was.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy that looks like Buddy Holly.
Yeah, that guy. That's him. He did the voice. I thought that was funny that you see Jabba the Hutt and you see that he's not in charge yet, but they're kind of feared. He's like, you can't take the queen there. The Hutts are gangsters. He's like, but the Hutts aren't looking for the
what's
queen.
that guy's name?
I don't know his
I
name.
want to say his name is Greg.
Maybe Greg T. Norman. Who knows?
No, it's something. They made fun of it one time.
Yeah,
because it sounds so familiar to. Oh, it's Proops.
Proops.
Proops because
Proops.
because the guys used to make fun of it in the beginning of Whose Line Is It Anyway because it sounds like poops.
Poops. Yeah.
They call him poops because it's actually Proops.
Yeah. So he did one of the voices.
It's
Yeah.
It's like our boss.
Yeah.
Because his name one. I'm not going to say everything about him for everybody, but his last name is Puckett. Puckett. And when he first came to the station, I just had to add the H.
Fuck it.
Sorry. It's just a play on words. So much love to the guy. But he's been very supportive of our endeavor.
Of course.
But you know what I mean? So that was that guy. But you see what I mean? Going back to that era of somebody from my generation is, you know, you had 83 was the last Star Wars, never knowing if their Star Wars was ever going to come back. Right? So at some point, you just got to let it go.
So
at some point, you just got to let it go.
Even back then, when the prequels came out, we knew there were going to be sequels because Mark Hamill said in an interview.
They've been talking about that for 17 years.
Yeah, and like the 80s and the 90s, Mark Hamill said that George Lucas asked him to take care of himself because he wanted to do sequels in 2011. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, I want to say that was sometime in the 90s. I don't know exactly for sure what George Lucas is. I'd have to look up his world. But I want to say that was at the point, because like it was like either late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. He got married and had a kid. He had his family at that point.
Marsha, yeah, the one who just passed away.
And so that's when it started. And so that's when he started backing away from the Star Wars projects.
Because he got sick in the first one directing. It was too much stress.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, because you had all this money coming your way and they didn't know if it was going to be successful or not.
Yeah.
And remember, it was, everything's with puppets and, and miniatures and
a lot of the actors just didn't understand the dialogue. And, what's his name is famous for saying
was something new.
Harrison
something
Ford.
different.
Yeah, Harrison Ford was like,
it had nothing to
like,
compare itself to.
He was like, George, he goes, I understand your script, but I can't say half of any of this shit.
They didn't have much to compare it to.
Yeah.
There wasn't, maybe what, Space Odyssey, I think, was out at the time. But it was
Star Trek in 79, that was about it.
But we're talking 77 with The New Hope. So there was really nothing that it could compare to.
Yeah, it was nothing at that time.
It was new, it was revolutionary, and you're asking a studio for, I don't even know what they spent on it.
Millions.
But if you're asking for a studio to help you make a movie that there's no other movie alike, and you got to do all this stuff with it. Yeah,
he had to
be stressful.
He had to invent things to get it done. That's why we have ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, because he needed a company to make his vision come true. He was like, well, this doesn't exist. Well, I need to create it.
Yeah.
And he created Industrial Light and Magic.
ILM, yeah.
ILM.
So, but you see what I mean? So when you grow up with that mindset, 83, and that they talked about it. Yeah, that's the reason 4, 5, and 6 were made. This was the middle. And he wanted to start with the middle for a reason. And then that way he can tell the story of the before and the after.
And the after, yeah.
And then years came on. 86 came on. 88 came on. 1990 came on. No word, no Star Trek. Or Star Wars. 92 came around, no Star Wars. 93 came around, no Star Wars. My generation just gave up.
So the hype started to happen in 97 when he re-released them with the special editions. He wanted to get it back. Like, hey, everybody, I'm gonna show the old ones, get into it, and then watch the new one.
By that point, my generation's already up in age, starting their careers, having a family, and the nostalgia and the hype is gone.
I
what I mean? It's just like,
and also it was ahead of its time. You went to the movies to transport yourself away, and in a way, it kind of hurt things because a lot of directors and screenwriters and writers, they got heavily inspired from Star Wars so much that they used the hell out of that formula and put it towards other things. And that's what we have now is just like, well, we already seen that. And that's why I think The Mandalorian fell a little bit, because so much magic happened in seasons 1 and 2 and the Book of Boba Fett that now by the time you release a movie, what else do you got to surprise us? What else do you have to entertain us? You guys should have made the movie when it was at its peak. You should have came out with the film in 2020, 2021. That would have been hot. Now it's just like 6 years later, we've already seen it all.
Yeah, it just
it died out. It fizzled out.
It was just, the hype was gone. For my generation, it was was gone. It was like
even the TV shows, the animated shows, is like,
and that's the other thing too. So unless you were, you had children of the age that watch those cartoons, most people in my generation, they're not going to go watch the animated series.
No one is.
Not when their animation exploded in the 90s.
Yeah. Toy Story.
Well, I'm talking about just regular TV. The USA Network had the Cartoon Network, and they had
Cartoon
Adult
Network.
Swim, and they had
Johnny Bravo.
There was so much animation, and then anime started to take off, and it just you talk about oversaturating the animation market. That's when it started. Really,
yeah.
I mean, it took off.
Yeah,
it evolved. Let me put it that way, because animation goes back to like the 60s and 50s.
Pink Panther.
That's true. Yeah. Did you ever watch Pink Panther?
I did.
Okay.
I watched the reruns when I was a kid in the 90s.
But you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So it's like, so the 90s come out, the cable television is oversaturated with animation. So Star Wars, and then it didn't make sense. I mean, it was like, oh, you actually had that. He had that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he actually had that keyed up. That's so funny. Oh my god.
I did. From I did a side character on my other channel called Sunny Dean. So he's like a cool cat. He comes in, he's just like, well, that's cool, baby. My name's Sunny Dean. How you doing? You know, he gives advice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little character I made.
So yeah, so here, so that's what I mean. What we're talking about, it was like the '90s roll around. My generation's already out of high school, in college, out of college, having kids. So unless you had kids of the age that were watching animation, you know,
I think that's what's happening now, Rocky. I think that my age, my people, the millennials, we're having kids. It's the same thing. We're not really.
We're having
going to
kids
see
later.
this. We're having kids later, but we're not really going to see the Star Wars stuff anymore. I remember when Episode 8 came out, I was like, I'm really not interested in this like I used to be.
Yeah.
I remember saying to myself, the magic was gone. Because by that time, I was like in my early 30s. I was 31 when 8 came out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I really don't like. And then forget it, when Episode 9 came, I was just like, what am I watching? What is this? I just wasn't interested in anymore. And I think now that's the case with The Mandalorian, that people are kind of like done with it. The magic is gone. There aren't any new worlds that are intriguing, or like when we saw Star Wars for the first time, it was like this whole new world. It's like, what's the Force, and what happened to Obi-Wan? What's he talking about the past? And is Darth Vader really Luke's father? And then you find out in Return of the Jedi, he is his father. And I have a clip here that I really, really love this dialogue where...
Hold on, let me see if I can figure out the setup for it. Now, is it one that we played before about the Luke, I am your father thing?
No.
So it's going to be the scene. Hold on. Oh, it's going to be when he was... It's going to be Yoda talking to him.
Nope.
Oh, it's not that one?
No. It's a Darth Vader line.
Okay.
It's when... it's in Return of the Jedi. I'll play it for you. Because he tells him to come with him. He's like, come with me.
Obi-Wan once thought as you do. You don't know the power of the dark side. I must obey my master.
I thought that was a really great scene between father and son. Because he tells him, he's like, come with me. And he's like, I could feel the conflict within you, father. Let go of your hate. And then there's like a unique line when he says, he goes, it's too late for me, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of that opera that he was,
Dude,
that soap
it
opera
was
that he was making.
So good. Return of the Jedi. I mean, even the characters, like I love the Empire Strikes Back with Lando, you know, and then Bespin City and 3PO's blast to hell. Luke loses his hand. The Thwomp Wampas.
They set each other, each movie set each other up. That was
beautiful.
the story. That was the story arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 4 or 5, they had the story arc. You introduced the trio, Luke and Leia and Han, right? Those are the 3 main characters, and you see them evolve over time, you know. But each movie set up the next one, right? So when you talk about the other episodes, like let's go to 7, 8, 9, right?
Okay.
So you got Rey and Finn and Pedro. I don't know what's his name.
Oh,
Paco.
No. He's from Venezuela. Actually,
Poe. It's
Poe Dameron. So apparently Poe,
Oscar Isaac. Yeah,
Oscar Isaac. So apparently Poe Dameron is the son of Andor. If you watch the show of Andor, you see the woman's pregnant.
I never saw Andor.
Oh, okay. That's actually a decent show. It's a dark show, so it's not really.
Once
for
again,
kids.
that was part of like giving up on it after.
Oh yeah,
because
I don't
it's
blame you.
oversaturated. It's like there's Andor,
and also the actress, she's Puerto Rican.
The only one that I saw, and I wish I would have seen it in the theater, but I didn't. I stumbled across it one day, and it's the only other Star Wars movie that I absolutely love. That's not part of 4, 5, 6. And then I watched it, and I caught it midway through it, and I was like, "Oh, I've got to watch this from the beginning." Watched it from the beginning, and then I watched it again. Absolutely loved it. Rogue One.
Yes.
Because it was, for me, it was like the next best, closest thing to 4, 5, and 6, because they didn't stray too far from those theories, because it set up 4, 5, and 6. and especially set up number 4 because it's like when you first watch episode The New Hope and the way it opens, you know, Leia has the Death Star plans,
and the ship is being attacked
right
by a Star Destroyer,
right, and Darth Vader's coming in looking for it. Remember, he's just ripping up the station.
Oh yeah, he threw Captain Antilles against the wall.
Right, he's just ripping up the station, going in looking for it, whatever. And then that's when she puts it inside R2D2 and C3PO and sends them off in the escape pod.
Yeah, that's when you see 3PO have a silver leg.
That is true. Wow, the revamped versions of everything right now does have the silver leg.
It's always had the silver leg, Rocky.
We're gonna agree to disagree, but you know what I mean. So it's like Rogue One, just introducing those characters and having every single one of those characters die at the end. Spoiler alert. All for the one purpose of the Death Star plans. And Diego Luna, I saw this before I knew who Diego Luna was. And I really like, actually I take that back. I knew who Diego Luna was. I just never saw him in a starring role.
Yeah.
Because he was in one of my favorite Westerns with
the Magnificent Seven?
No, it's called with Kevin Costner.
I don't remember.
Open Space with Robert Duvall. Remember those ones I was trying to tell you about?
Yeah, that was like one of those ones I'm just like, I caught bits and pieces.
If you just relax, spend the time, watch the show, it actually is a pretty good movie.
Well, let's go back to Rogue One.
But anyway, that was my Diego Luna intro, was that movie.
Yeah.
Then he was in Rogue One, and I absolutely loved it.
Rogue One surprised me. I went in there low expectations.
The message that it had, right? Where it's like, we're doing this for, it's like, well, I hate to quote Star Trek, but the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one, which is, and that was kind of like that feel, is that sacrifice, you know, we sacrificed our lives for this.
Yeah.
And that is impactful.
It is.
You know, to know that these people and their story, it's like a history story, right? So it's like you got all these people from that show that ended up sacrificing themselves for the plans to lead up to episode 4.
For the rebellion.
For the rebellion.
And if you read the opening crawl of Star Wars Episode 4, the original, it basically explains what happens in Rogue One. When you read that paragraph, that explains it. Because they didn't take the Rebel Alliance seriously. And that's when they had the meeting. And he's like, the Rebel Alliance is more well-equipped and they're more dangerous than you realize. And he goes, no rebellion, because the power of this battle station and stuff like that. So I want to go back to Rogue One because because now we're gonna kind of like close it off.
So Rogue One came out in what, 2016?
2016, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I went into this film with very low expectations. I'm like, I don't know what to think. And I just remember being blown away by seeing what Governor Tarkin come back from the dead with CGI. I'm like, what? And then the second thing was Darth Vader. Now, what was your opinion on Darth Vader, his palace, being on the planet where he lost everything? How badass is that? Dude, I have a clip here. I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
And we're gonna get into it. Here we go. This is where he exits his back to tank chamber, and now he's gonna talk with Director Krennic.
Director Krennic.
Lord Vader.
You seem unsettled.
No, just pressed for time. There's a great many things to attend to.
My apologies. You do have a great many things to explain.
I delivered them.
And to end that clip, Rocky, that was one thing that I was kind of happy and excited about, was that James Earl Jones returned to do that voice.
Yeah.
And I read a few of the background stuff because I wanted to see what people were doing. And apparently when he was recording, that he said the word power, and then like everybody in the recording booth, like outside of it, they all looked at each other, oh my God, like the fandom came out. Like they're like, oh shit, like James Earl Jones, like he goes, the power of the dark side, and the Death Star. There is no Death Star.
Yeah, it was. It just like you said. I wish that was one of those movies that I wish I would have seen on the big screen. Because once again, it's 2016, right in the middle of all the oversaturation. Oh, just another movie. Oh, just another movie. Oh, it's another Star Wars movie. Oh my gosh, what's this one about? Oh, it's gonna be different. Oh my gosh, not knowing full well what it was. And then, like I said, I stumbled across it one day on television, and then I was just blown away. I was like, you know what? I got to watch this again. And I fell in love with it ever since. And I was like, okay, I don't know how I missed this one.
Yeah, no.
And why it's not getting the praise that it does.
No,
that it needs.
It needs the praise because when you talk about 4, 5, and 6, I think that this movie is right after that when it comes on the rankings.
Okay. Yeah.
I would put Rogue One before Episode 7, in my opinion, as a watching and how classic it is. Then after Rogue One, I would put Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah. See, I didn't see Episode 3. You said you did. I mean, because we talked about this the other day,
I think you should watch it. I think you would
and I
like
will.
it.
It's on my list to eventually watch. But what I'm saying is we had talked about this the other day, and I was like, when I tell people, if I'm going to watch Star Wars for the first time, I would start with Episode 4, Rogue One. I'm sorry. Start with Rogue One first.
Yeah.
And then watch 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Because Rogue One definitely sets up Episode 4. The New Hope.
Yeah, because I would watch probably Episode 3. Then I would watch Kenobi, the TV series. Then I would watch Rogue One, and then I would watch Episode 4. So for you, a little homework for you to do one day, I would have you watch Star Wars Episode 3, watch the Kenobi show, and then Rogue One.
Okay.
I mean, if you really want a new show to watch, if you're bored, you got nothing to watch Andor. I think you might like Andor. It has a lot of the episodes 4, 5, and 6 qualities to it. You see a lot more of the Empire and how they deal with criminals and world building. And it's not really as political as you think. It's more about the rebel aspect and how you see the Rebel Alliance grow. So Andor is, if you like Rogue One, you will like the television show Andor.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, definitely something to consider.
Yes, consider it.
But yeah, but going back to my original statement before, kind of gave up on Star Wars. Back in 2000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not
and
interested.
Then it was I just lost interest. And and for other people in my generation, it was the same concept, and we just replaced it with everything else. You know what I mean? Not to say that the stuff now is good and some of us aren't watching it,
right?
But we're not as passionate about it.
I see that. I get that.
You know what I mean? It's
I know what you mean.
The passion is gone. And we watch it because maybe our kids want to watch it, or because our kids enjoy it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's not bad. It's not, horrible.
But I'll sit down and watch it with you.
But if you tell me we were going to watch Rogue One, 4, 5, and 6, I'll be like, okay, I got the popcorn. Let's watch this.
Yeah, let's go watch this. Yeah.
It's just a different feel.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of where it's at. And so your original statement of we all died.
I think they're starting to. I think the original fans are dying out.
Well, 77, so that was still prime era for the boomers.
Right.
So boomers, when you think about it, 77, so if somebody born in the 50s, that would put them in their 20s, so
yeah.
So or even
30s.
Well, let's just say I would probably say the 50s. I think somebody pre-50 might be a little bit too old, just because once again, most of those people probably didn't even have a TV until they were Well, television didn't come out to 52, 53?
Well, you know, so interesting. My father was born in 57, and he told me he could never get into Star Wars. He tried, but he liked Star Trek. So that's what we're talking about before. He's a Star Trek guy.
Because I was in the 60s.
Because he watched the television show in the 60s. So he was more into Star Trek and the Star Trek films.
And that's the way it is too. That's what they're interested. That was their first introduction to it. So
all right. So now we're gonna close this off. We're already an hour and 34, which is great. I love this topic. We're gonna start circling back towards the end. What do you think the problem is now? with Star Wars?
I think
and where do you see
I think
it
it's
going?
leadership. I think it goes back to leadership, right? I think it goes back to the fact that you got too many people, and this is a problem. This is one of my complaints going back when George Lucas stepped out, right? And you had Kathleen Kennedy being in charge but not being in charge. I love J.J. Abrams, but he had his own vision. Rian Johnson had his own vision. I think he ruined 7, 8, 9. I don't even think he did 9.
No, J.J. Abrams did 7. Then Rian Johnson, he took over 8 and he ruined 8.
Yeah,
and
8,
then
9.
Abrams got it back, but now he has to fix the damage, and it was too much.
So I think the problem with it is you don't have any continuity of leadership that says, okay, this is the direction we're going to go with it. This is the story that needs to be told. So
you're talking about Disney and CEOs. Okay.
I think that's kind of where it is there was no direction saying, okay, this is what episode 1, 2, and 3 are about, right? I want, like the leader, whoever was in charge of at the time of Disney, or whoever had the rights to who was ever in control of the making episode 1, right? Up through the end. It needed to be relatively either the same team, the same person, and say, no, this is what we need to stick with. Don't introduce anything wild. Don't introduce anything crazy. Like you can't hyper kill somebody by ramming their ship, at hyperspace. You can't. Don't invent something that doesn't exist in any other Star Wars timeline. Don't invent
new shit.
Don't invent.
Even the Force Ghost thing with Luke, I'm like, that's not how the Force works.
Don't reinvent this lightsaber. Don't change up what the Force actually is. Don't stop changing things and stop making things different in each universe. It just destroys the canon. And that's another issue, is there was no continuity, right? And so I think personally, if it's never going to happen unless we're going to talk about some major Mandela effect later on down the road.
Definitely.
Say, hey, what happened in 2026? I think that's when all the Star Wars movies from 2000 to 2026 were just erased from eternity. Except Rogue One. Rogue One was kick-ass.
Rogue One was kick-ass. Episode 3 was kick-ass.
But you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a complete reset and say, okay, we're going to redo 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry, 7, 8, 9. And this is the story we're going to follow. This is relatively the script. This is what needs to happen. And then they need to follow that continuity that rolls into 4, 5, 6, and then obviously you're not. We're never going to get all the main characters back, the legacy characters back for 7, 8, and 9.
Well, they're starting to die.
Yeah, by the time we get around to it, they'll be gone.
Chewbacca passed away. Princess Leia passed away.
Yeah.
To round off what you're saying, what I personally think should happen is some shape, form, or another, they need to bring George Lucas back, get him involved somehow, have him be some type of overseer,
somebody needs to have direct control,
like that wall to stop stuff from going through. And this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. You have my blessing. Make it.
No, he needs to be in complete control. You can't have somebody that's just an honorary figure.
He needs to be in control. Yeah,
he needs to be in control, and
we need him back. We need George back.
And if they would do this right, they could do the Lord of the Rings effect, film all 3 movies at one time,
and then edit it,
and then cut it and edit it. For you got your 3 movies. Do your 3 movies while you have the actors. Right, and
take advantage of George still being alive,
and then take advantage of him. Do 1, 2, 3, film all 3 at the same time. Spend your year filming it at the same time. Bam, roll out the following year, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So film everything that you can as quickly as you can in the control of George Lucas, and then go back and do the editing.
Yeah.
And say, okay, this is the storyline that George wanted. Boom, 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 boom. not only will that honor George, but I'll honor the Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Everything follows the correct timeline. You're not reinventing anything. You're not introducing new characters that don't belong anywhere else in the timeline. You're not inventing new, I don't want to say strategies, but something that just doesn't make sense to the Star Wars world.
I feel that if George Lucas in the future, if he was to be involved in any type of film, directed or written or something, if fans find out that George Lucas was heavily involved in a film, that's going to make money.
Yes,
and
it will.
People will go see it.
Because that's what my generation wants.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
with your
creative
generation.
control.
My generation wants it too because we like the
and
prequels.
I'll give you another example of most recent show that lost creative control, and that was Yellowstone.
Yeah. A lot of people are
Tyler
upset with
lost control.
Yeah.
Because of CBS, and then that's why it ended the way it did.
Yeah.
But that's a different subject.
That's a different subject.
But going back to this, I that's my take on. I think if it's not George Lucas, it has to be somebody with
Heavily
the same
involved.
mindset
Yeah.
and understanding of what George wants to take creative control for all 6 of those movies.
Yeah. I know that they're trying to make a new trilogy. I don't know if it's stalled heavily, but I wouldn't be surprised if Disney sits down with George and say, what do we do? Because it's not working right now. You and me as fans, we see it. We see the writing on the wall. Like something's not working like we did in the beginning of the episode. Something's not going right. I foresee possibility of that happening where they sit down with George and say, can you please help us out, sir? Because we can't handle your brain and your universe. And, what are we doing wrong?
They need to redefine the timeline. They need to redefine those movies.
Or at least the future.
Well, you're going to need 1, 2, 3 with it. Honestly.
I would say leave the damage where it's done. Like leave the past behind, like Kylo Ren said.
No,
like
we're going to create a Mandela effect ourselves.
Like Kylo Ren said, let the past die. And the next 3 films, episodes 10, 11, and 12, let George fix and end the damage, and then no more Star Wars. Just leave it the way it is. Leave it be.
I'm a fan of mine, which is
let it
go
be.
back, redo 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Redo.
I don't see anything wrong with 1, 2, and 3. Really, it's fine for what it is. It's a product of its time.
Well, we're going to create the Mandela effect and say, hey, remember that there used to be an original 1, 2, 3, and now they're no longer in existence?
Well, in episode 1, they did fix Yoda. He was originally a puppet. If you remember, he was a puppet, and now he's CGI.
Yeah.
They got rid of the puppet because the puppet didn't look like Yoda. It was ugly. You know, so they it just made him CGI.
But and then if there's a way after those 6 films are redone under the watchful eye of George, redo Obi-Wan Kenobi as its own movie.
Yes.
Or series of movies.
Bring that out as another movie. There's a dialogue in episode 4 when he tells him, the last time I felt him was in the presence of my master somewhere else. So there's still more Kenobi stuff we could go with because apparently he was felt or something like that, or he saw him in the presence of his master. So I think we have one more shot at Kenobi. I got to go back to that dialogue in episode 4.
Yeah. And, and then probably the same thing with Solo, if you can do Solo. And this time you get a better actor.
Maybe. But James Earl Jones, he gave permission for his voice to be AI'd so he could live forever as Vader.
Right.
So Disney has his voice forever to use AI. That's what they used on the Kenobi show. They used AI to bring his voice back from the Empire Strikes Back.
That's my fix for it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it does require eliminating 20 years of history of bad filmmaking.
Okay.
But if it is done right, it is done well, and it follows the true timeline that George wants, I think it'll be successful.
So in conclusion, I say let the past die, let the films be where they are, but have George fix the future. Like have him lay down a road, have him write beautiful stuff. Don't throw his beautiful scripts in the goddamn trash like Kathleen Kennedy did.
Well, I'm not going to say 10, 11, and 12 aren't bad.
No. Well,
but they're basically based off of Rey. So
yeah, so I think George could fix it. I think George is a smart and talented man, and I really think he has a lot of characters and stuff in his mind that Disney didn't roll with. And I think if he was involved in episodes 7, 8, and 9, we would have had a better sequel trilogy. But that's what happens when you rush out movies and you don't develop it. And I think George could fix the Star Wars universe. That's my conclusion.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And let us know what you guys think, seriously, because like I said at the beginning of the show, this is going to be very controversial.
Yes.
Very much everyone's going to have their own opinion on things.
And divided.
Yeah, and divided. United and divided. But yeah, there's so much about this universe. What would you like to see? What do you think needs to be done to fix Star Wars? Let us know down in the comments below. Greatly appreciate your feedback. And, stick around. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because we got definitely a lot more topics coming down the pipeline, and we would like you guys to be part of that.
Yes, please like and subscribe. Future episodes in the run. We definitely got a Back to the Future one coming in October of this year. So please subscribe and wait for that one when we go into Back to the Future. And thank you very much.
So grab your popcorn and put Damien and Rocky to the test. Rock Dog and Damien, the ones on the mic. Be sure to subscribe and hit that like.